This year-long initiative serves as a platform for Artivist presenters and student ambassadors to share their work, to inspire and to challenge the audience to engage their sociological imagination, to see the world with fresh eyes. To see the full listing of events, please go to the Artivism website. If you just type Artivism and Adelphi, it will bring you to the landing page. If you'd like to get more involved, either as a presenter or as a student ambassador, please feel free to contact either me, lake@adelphi.edu, or Carolina Cambronera. Our contact information is listed on the website. Before I introduce our student ambassador today, we'd like to remind everyone that this is being recorded. And so if you're not interested in being seen on the recording, please make sure to turn your video off. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's student ambassador, Kelsey Lynch. Kelsey Lynch is a dance major from Burlington, Massachusetts, and an intern at the Ataraxia Dance Company located in Davie, Florida, where she serves as the creative administrative assistant. In the dance department, Kelsey has worked with Professor Adelaide Stralick, who produces choreographic works that focus on social injustice. Welcome, Kelsey.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Lake, so much for allowing me to speak at today's event and to everyone else involved in this project. I'm Kelsey Lynch, like she said, a junior dance major at Adelphi, and for my internship, I'm the creative administrative assistant for Ataraxia Dance Theater Company in Davie, Florida, where I run virtual dance classes, create thoughtful curriculum, and guide other visual projects throughout the year. And the company has kicked off the year with some exciting, engaging material for students to help educate them about social justice, diversity, equality, and inclusion. And one of our missions this year is to offer as much support to students as we can to assist in the current climate of our country. Throughout the month of February, we're offering a virtual movement residency at Kip Freedom Middle School in the Bronx, New York, to help provide a diverse platform for information for students to collect awareness for social justice and their creativity. The students have the ability to create choreographic phrases based on their associations with social justice while learning about the careers and opportunities that are available for them in the field of dance. We use dance as a vehicle to bring awareness for others and their stories, acknowledging that we as a community are always working together to meet everyone where they are so that we can arrive together. And Alina Bloomgarden is someone else who uses her art as a means to share underrepresented stories. She's the founder of Music on the Inside, a nonprofit charitable organization working with professional musicians to bring music education, mentorship, and hope to individuals who are incarcerated or facing the challenges of reentry. She was also a dance major at Adelphi and was a department director and producer at Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts for over 23 years. Proposing that jazz had a rightful place at the country's preeminent performing arts center, she was the initiating producer of jazz at the Lincoln Center, bringing Wynton Marsalis on as artistic advisor. And it's a role that he now serves for Music on the Inside, which also engages many other distinguished musicians, including some that we'll meet today, who share empathy and concern for our brothers and sisters impacted by the criminal justice system. Alina is motivated by the power of music to break down barriers and build immediate connection to our shared humanity, particularly needed by those emerging from the punishing and soul-crushing experience of incarceration. So please join me in welcoming Alina Bloomgarden.
Wait a minute, unmute myself. Thank you so much, Kelsey, and all of you for having us here today. I had no experience with criminal justice when I started this program, but I was moved by the power of music all my life, and jazz especially. And we, as musicians and performing arts producers, we just bring our particular skills and talents and heart to do what we can to bring humanity and hope into criminal justice. And our goal today, and we hope, to share something about our work and also the particular inspiration that each of us have. Each of us brings a different reason why we do this work. And we may not be able to reform the entire system, but we hope today to inspire you to think about ways that you can bring your talents and heart to address issues that you care about. So I want to tell you a little bit. When COVID happened, we were no longer able to work in the prisons, and within 2 weeks we shifted our focus and pivoted to support for individuals in reentry. And we've discovered some amazingly talented people. We're going to introduce one of our wonderful participants to you today. And we also started doing music while we're inside Zoom concerts. And it's my pleasure right now to introduce to you the associate producers of those concerts, our hosts and master teachers in the prisons, Antoinette Montague and Richard Miller. Please join me in giving them a warm welcome. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Hello, Richard. You can go first. Richard is an amazing master teacher and is one of the incredible partner organizations involved with music while we're inside. And we just love Alina Bloomgarden. She just has a humongous heart. She creates possibility. And one of the things that we'll just start out with is, how about a little bit of the blues? The blues is the music that African Americans have worked through oppression, and jazz is the music of liberation. And so we're going to just stretch a little bit. Everybody take a nice deep breath in. And here we go. A little good times rolling. You can sing your part all night long. It's a call and response. All right. Let's see, put your hands together. Oh yeah, I don't see you. Come on. Hey everybody, let's have some fun. You only live once, and when you're dead, you're done. So let the good times roll. Let the good times roll. Oh, who cares if you're young or old? Hang out and let the good times roll. Hello, Adelphi. MOTI's in the place. We came to come and put a little smile on your face. Let the good times roll all night long. Let the good times roll. You go all night long. Who cares if you're young or old? Let the good times roll. Now we'll have Richard Miller with solo. A kazoo. Who cares if you're young or old? Let the good times roll. Now we'll have call and response one more time. Let the good times roll. You go all night long. Good times roll.
All night long.
Good times roll.
All night long.
Good times roll.
All night long.
Who cares if you're young or old? Let the good times roll. It's good for the soul.
Antoinette, tell us a little bit about what moves you to do this work.
Well, initially I was not thrilled about the possibility of coming into the system of incarcerated persons. No judgment per se, but the truth be told, once I got on our first opportunity inside at, I believe it was Queensboro Correctional Facility, and Richard started passing out the guitars, and some of these big strapping guys just ran their finger over the guitar strings and felt the music in the air, and they looked at each other and smiled. I saw a child's face and heart, that we are all children in need of redemption. People make mistakes, and here's a way to soothe a human being inside of one of the most difficult situations, called away from family, in solitude, and incarcerated, and that we could bring them, especially with singing, breathing, and call and response, and giving them a chance to have some Shabbat praise and, you know, oh, oh,
Oh,
Oh,
Hey!
hey.
Hey.
Everybody's got a smile on their face. Everybody's got some joy. And we're all together, as musicians say, on the count of one. In a spirit of oneness, in a spirit of heart, in a spirit of mind, that I know it gets a little bit tired, but we're all 99.9 the same genomes. That means we're part of the same family reunion. So on the count of three, everybody say, welcome to the family. Welcome to the MOTI family reunion. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the
Modi
MOTI family reunion.
So there we are. So I'm motivated because it is a blessed place to serve a greater good beyond yourself. And since the 13th Amendment, the prison systems form, for me as an African American, they still form as sort of an institutionalized slave caste system. And there's some other things that are happening, Amend on Netflix, etc. But we use this great program to bring heart, to bring love and fellowship, and there is a greater good, but this is a good, great place to start.
thank you so much. What about you, Richard? Darling Richard, wonderful musician. Thank you. Tell us what motivates you.
Well, Antoinette said that it's one of the most difficult situations a person, a human, can find themselves in prison. And I would add, it's one of the more dehumanizing. Is that better?
Yes.
One of the more dehumanizing. And when you asked me to join, I was directing the education program for Afro-Latin Jazz Alliance. And I was bringing music to children in New York City. And when we went into Edgecombe prison, and we had 3 weeks to prepare students who had never played guitar or for a concert. They had a concert in 3 weeks. We had 3 meetings with them. They weren't allowed to play the guitars on their own. And so they basically had 6 hours to prepare for a concert. And then and they did great. They did amazing. The day before the concert, they were so nervous. And 2 things from that. One is, one of our students said he had never experienced such a dehumanizing force as in prison. And when we came in and valued them as humans and people capable of expression, that was the first time he experienced his own humanity since he had arrived. And then after the concert, we were taking some snacks. We were having snacks with the students, and one of them took me aside and told me that he had been in solitary confinement for 3 months, and they would taunt him, and he had to learn how to go to sleep hungry. He lost all track of time. When he would ask for food, they would call him a spick, and they would ask him, "What have you ever accomplished in life?" He was in his 20s, and he didn't have an answer to them. And then he turned to me and looked me right in the eyes and said, "I wish I could find that guard now, because I would tell him that we just performed 2 songs. We just learned 2 songs and performed it in 3 weeks." And so his sense of fulfillment and accomplishment is why I do this. It's why I teach. And I just kept wondering if we had gotten him when he was in elementary school, if that would have made a difference.
Thank you so much. So as I said earlier, when COVID started, we had to shift out of the prisons, and we started to find amazingly talented people who've been impacted by incarceration that we could support. And right now I want to introduce to you a person. He doesn't mind me saying that. I've asked him. This is a gentleman who loves music so much. He comes to our concerts every week and he performs. He served 46 years in prison. And at the beginning of the time, they had music programs. And then in the wisdom, not, of the system, they eliminated programming at some point. And for the next 30 years, he just kept his music alive. And you will hear what a beautiful musician he is and what an honor it is to teach him. I'm going to introduce 2 of his teachers that are working with us through MOTI, the wonderful Don Braden, and also equally wonderful Barbara Cecil, teaching him flute. Don Braden teaches him saxophone, So I want to first bring on Dawood Rockman. Play a little bit for us and share a little bit, if you might. Dawood.
Hello, everyone. I'm honored to be a part of this program. And as I stated, I had a long stretch in the prison system. And as Richard stated so aptly, that the prison situation is a very dehumanizing, miserable situation. And many traumatic, depressive situations that people are in there faced with. And I feel myself fortunate to have had the love of music, first of all, and the fact that I did, start to engage in learning music upon my incarceration. And a good while I was incarcerated, and it has sustained me. I must admit, and with all the different depressive and traumatic situations, I did survive, and I do owe my survival, I guess, to music, my involvement in music, my love of music, and my activity in being a student of music, and the fact that now that I'm out and I'm receiving these lessons from these professional musicians, professional teachers, I'm very grateful for that, and I feel myself very fortunate for that. But again, music has assisted me while I was in, and I heard a statement just this morning on a PBS channel. It was a music program, and then the statement was stated that music is power for the species, and that power is definitely beneficial for a person to have, and it has assisted me while I was incarcerated for that length of time. And my total involvement and my love for music did assist me in the fact that the people at MOTI are engaged in trying to bring it back into the system is a very positive thing, I believe. I think it should be supported as much as possible.
Thank you, Dawood. How about you play a little for us on your saxophone?
Yeah. One of the things that I had neglected while I was incarcerated was many technical aspects of music, and I'm getting some powerful assistance from my instructor, Don Braden, and we recently engaged on my studying of bebop, and he suggested this tune from Charlie Parker. Now is the time, and I'll see what I can do with that.
Thank you. Thank you, Dawood. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you one of Dawood's amazing teachers, the very distinguished and esteemed jazz saxophone player and great educator. Please join us, Don Braden.
All right. I feel very distinguished and esteemed. Thank you, Alina.
Thank
Wow.
you. Are.
Dawood, my man. Good job. Good job. All right. I heard I'm new to the MOTI organization, and I met Alina at Jazz Connect last January, back when we could actually meet in person. And she told me about her program, and essentially I told her I'm in. And eventually she got in touch with me. And Antoinette actually made the direct connection, because Antoinette Montague, my great friend and colleague, she's awesome, the vocalist. She made the secondary reach out and pulled me in, and I've been hooked ever since with Music on the Inside. Long story short, I teach jazz because jazz is, like Antoinette said, a music of freedom, but it's also a music of teamwork, and the music of discipline, and the music of creativity, and the music of improvisation. That's why I teach jazz. I teach jazz because I think as a model for something to study, it has all these human elements that are just profound, and have transformed my life. And I've seen it time and time again amongst the 90% of my students, and I've had thousands of them over the years because of all the programs I've worked in. So I've been teaching since the 90s, early 90s. So, you know, most of them don't become musicians, but they take the lessons from professional musicians, that is. They might hopefully keep playing, and they are able to participate in that joyous experience and fruitful experience, but they take the lessons, you know, improvisation, how to listen. Man, jazz is huge for how to listen. On and on. I could go on for a whole hour about that, but I won't. But you get the idea. That's why I teach jazz. So when I heard Dawood at the first MOTI concert that I was playing in, I was like, okay, I heard a soul in this gentleman, and I can have something to share with him. So I volunteered and jumped right in, and we've been working together every single week since then, which is several months. And I can't be more proud of this young man and what he's done and what he represents. I'm very proud of Dawood. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, yeah, Alina?
Beautiful music for us, because it's.
Yeah, I'll play something. Yeah, I'll just switch cameras quick, and I'll play a little something. We'll see what it'll be brief, obviously, but I'll see what it turns into. I'll see. I'm going to use my fancy technology and switch cameras. There we go. And now I will turn the other mic. There we go. And I turn around. Here we go. With something. Let's see what it is.
so much. I just want to say it's so beautiful to have Don with us and Dawood. And, you know, we meet every student where they are. Dawood is so talented. He also played flute. So we also have him studying with the wonderful flautist, Barbara Cecil. So I'd like her to come on for a minute to play a little bit for us and introduce Dawood playing a little flute as well. And then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about our programs in the prisons and show you a little film as well. So please join us. Barbara Cecil.
Hi there, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with you and so honored to be in such esteemed company today. When I met Alina and I found out that she was doing this incredible program a while ago, I was really excited about it. I thought, wow, how could I get involved with this? I'm a classical flutist, so I'm not a jazzer, but I'd say 15, 16 years ago, I left my classical career to some extent to bring music to children throughout the United States, throughout the world, because I really felt like we were losing several generations of children to music. And so when the opportunity came, when Alina called and said, well, you know, we have somebody now that we're not on the inside, whose name is Dawood, and would you be interested in teaching him? And I was, you know, so honored to be asked, and also so incredibly moved because you know, as the summer came along and all the things were happening around the country with the Black Lives Matter movement, and, you know, what could I do? You know, I was in the trenches with kids and in schools around the country, but I wasn't, you know, it wasn't my focus. And so I just felt so incredibly thrilled to get this opportunity and to learn. And it has been an incredible learning experience for me to be involved with this organization and to really see what's going on. And when I met Dawood, I'm just so struck by, he's just such a musician. He's a musician on all kinds of music. He knows and is interested in every kind of music. He is moved by music in that of whatever variety it is. And I consider that really, really important for our unity, that we all respect and love the music that we all love. And Dawood really represents that, and he can teach that to everyone. So that's it. I'm going to play extremely briefly. This is just the intro to Syrinx by Claude Debussy, and this Syrinx is an origin of music story, so I can just kind of picture Debussy kind of noodling around.
Just make sure it says turn off original.
Absolutely. Here we go. Turn on or turn off? Turn off.
It should say turn off.
Turn off. Yeah,
you got it.
Perfect.
Now
let's
Dawood, you share a little flute with us too, just a little bit, and then we're going to go on to some other things. But thank you both, all of you. Thank you so much, all of these wonderful artists.
Okay, again, with much gratitude to both my instructors. My classical chops, I guess, are being developed by Miss Barbara Cecil, and I'm very grateful for a lot of the instructions, tips, advice, and encouragement, and everything I'll get from her. And this is one tune, the classical tune that I'm sure the people who are classical aficionados would recognize. The Barcarolle from Tales of Hoffman. Okay, I'll see what I can do with that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wood was a beautiful musician before we met him, but to see his progress, the people in the Fortune Society who recommended him to us, everyone's so proud of what you've done and how you're growing, and we're so proud to have you with us on our concerts and today especially as well. So right now I want to cue Carolina. We're going to come back to thinking about our work in the prisons. And Carolina, can you cue that little film for us right now? We'll just show you some work that Antoinette and Richard did in the prisons and then bring them back on. So.
Carolina, you need to share your sound, so stop the share. We can't hear the audio. Is that just me?
No, we can't hear
No,
it.
no one could hear it.
We can't hear.
Okay, so Carolina, stop the share, and I'll guide you through sharing it again. All right, she's not hearing us.
We might have to just leave it as it is without sound. You get the idea. Oh, there you go.
So Carolina, if you can hear us, stop the share for 1 second.
They have so much to say that comes
Okay,
right
now
out.
it's good.
I miss you saying I've been here. What is on my mind, and you better believe it. If I say I miss you, I mean it. I really mean it. You're always on my mind.
I'm a huge proponent of education in all of its forms, and music certainly is a common language that all speak. This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
We've been dreaming about the opportunity to do some performance and education, especially education inside the correctional system. It's a harsh reality being incarcerated. I think music is a tool that liberates.
The class is very therapeutic. I almost forgot what I was for a few minutes.
He's our first student of our first semester.
It looks like they're gonna let people out now. They're gonna do that? Yeah. Hey man, you look good. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Excited.
Overwhelmed. Here's your guitar.
Thank you.
Here. Okay, hit it.
Said my name is Flo, and I'm out Queensboro. Queensboro no more. The opportunity to learn an instrument, it almost felt like it was destined. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So Antoinette and Richard, how about you take us through a little bit about how you work in the prisons and what you teach, and hopefully engage our participants today in some of that work. Thank you.
Well, Richard is a sort of new guru prophet of mine. The one thing that he taught some of our students as they would complain that their fingers were hurting. I mean, these big strapping guys incarcerated for doing whatever, but they're like, oh, it really hurts. It's really hard. It hurts my fingers. And he said, well, what do you tell them? Don't say it's hard. Say it's unfamiliar. So everybody repeat after us. Don't say it's hard.
It's unfamiliar.
Unfamiliar.
It's unfamiliar. So all this COVID tech that we're being thrust into the future will serve us well in the future. And I would like for Richard to speak first, but I just wanted to give him an intro as to who you were getting ready to listen to.
Thank you, Antoinette. Yeah, because that's it's kind of what we all do, right? It's not just it's what we humans do. Is something we say it's hard, and then that gives us a reason not to do it, instead of just creating a contact. It's unfamiliar. You can't hear me?
That's better.
Okay. Instead of just creating the context that it's unfamiliar, because it's unfamiliar, what do we got to do? Just make it familiar. Yeah. And so then we can do it. Anything that's familiar, we're pretty good at, like eating with a fork. And some of us, yeah.
How about you teach us the blues and get us all learning?
Yeah, I just love to see that video of seeing Terrell Flo receive his guitar. Can I just tell the little story of how that came about? I was playing at the City Vineyard in New York, and I just announced that we're trying to raise guitars for the program. And the engineer at City Vineyard came up to me and said she had this blue guitar that she could donate. And so she did. And when I brought it into prison, there's something, they say that musicians don't choose the instrument chooses the musician. And so I saw it in the eyes of Terrell that this guitar was just like, it was like leaping out of my hands to go into his. And so when he was released, we met him. And so we had to stand out there in the cold because they don't tell us when he's going to be released, I guess for security reasons. And so we just waited there, and then he just walked out and able to give him. And then that last scene was him on Zoom with me doing a lesson, and the blues that he had written, inspired by Judy Gray's method, and Antoinette and I took it on teaching them, and they wrote out a blues, and his blues was My Name is Flo and I'm in Queensboro. So that video was him changing the lyrics. He said, my name is Flo and I'm out Queensboro. And so that, it just kind of encapsulates the bonds that we create. We're still in touch with him. He was out for 6 weeks, not finding work. And then, during our lessons, I asked, what's going on with that. And he couldn't create a resume because his computer was outdated. And so we created a resume for him. And we put ourselves as reference for him. He got a job. He's now fully employed. He's been more than a year employed. He married and he has a child. So his life is going. And so it's music, but it's life. We're not just teaching music, and we're teaching life skills, and using music as a metaphor.
Thank you.
So we're going to do a quick blues, and everyone can participate, almost like the blues of introduction. Or if you don't want to use your name to create the blues, you can say a positive affirmation. So a little sample of it would be, I'm Antoinette, you bet. I'm the best Antoinette, the best that I can get. All right, Paul, let's go. My friend Paul's been rocking and party. Unmute. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go.
My name is Paulie C, and I'm here in a place to be.
All right. One more time.
There you go.
One more time. Do it twice.
Paulie C, and I'm in here, the place to be.
Then we take it home. My name is Paul, and I'm the best guy I can be. Okay. So once, twice, and then you take it with a little bit of a tag. All right. Let's see who's going to go next. Let's give. Who wants to go next? Hand up. That's terrific. Then I will pick someone. Let's see. RG.
You're on.
Okay, 1,
You're singing,
2.
everybody leaves.
It's okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go.
She's saying no.
Okay. Stephanie Lake. Here we go.
Oh, okay.
No,
I'll do it. My students know that I'll sing.
Let's go with RG. She can say, my name is RG and I don't want to sing. Go ahead.
RG and I don't want to sing.
Okay, now repeat it.
My name is RG and I do not want to sing.
Okay, and now conclusion.
My name is RG and singing ain't my thing.
And singing ain't my thing, no.
Okay.
All right, that's the blues right there.
All right, Miss Stephanie Lake. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go.
My name is Lake. I teach in the criminal justice program.
All right, baby.
My students have heard me sing before. It gives them nightmares.
Bring it home. Bring it home.
Antoinette, teach that tag at the end. Show that.
I just wish they would realize the joy of singing, even if you don't have any talent.
All right. All right, everybody, get some fabric and just let's give her a big cheerleading thing there. Here we go. All righty. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's see. Judy Gray's out there. Let's bring in a ringer.
Where's Judy Gray? All right.
Here.
All right, sing it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go.
My name is Judy. Judy Gray is my name.
Okay.
Go on.
One more time.
Said my name is Judy. Judy Gray is my name.
And then end it.
I go to the prison and teach them just the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Kelsey. Go for it, Kelsey. I believe in you.
Okay.
1.
My name is Kelsey, and I'm a dancer to be.
Come on. One more time.
My name is Kelsey, and I'm a dancer to be.
And bring it home.
I think Miss Alina should go next.
Yeah. I agree.
Let's see. Sarah Avery. She's happy over there. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, go.
My name is Sarah Avery, and I do not know how to sing. I'm just an administrator working for my pay. My name is Sarah Avery, and this is all I'm gonna sing.
Hey, hey, hey. Woo. Wonderful. Let's see. Is it Ashita?
Yeah, it's Ishita.
Ishita. All right, here we go. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. You no?
She doesn't have her mic off.
She.
Her mic.
What about Jenna? Jenna's always enthusiastic.
Jenna's always enthusiastic.
It's good practice for a job interview to walk in and be able to sing your name and have melody inside of you and have a song inside of the spirit of you. That is great for when you get ready to go out for a job interview, because you know how to do and be an icebreaker. If you can sing in front of a bunch of strangers, you can go in and shake your hand and get that job, right? All the adults that understand, let's go with an amen and let's see. Am I telling you the truth? Absolutely. Okay, so who may be next?
Jenna.
Jenna. Let's have Jenna go.
Jenna.
Wait, hey, my roommate's speaking right next to me. What are you doing? Sorry.
Oh, she wants to sing?
Oh yeah, come on, bring her in.
She's in class too. She was just talking. I'm good now. Sorry.
Okay, good. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go.
My name is Jenna, and I don't know what to say.
You're doing great.
Jenna, and I'm having a very good day.
Then
repeat it.
Repeat.
Like this song. Name is This Day I Belong.
My name is Jenna, they say. All right.
All right. That's a little bit of how we teach. We just get people to express.
So the main thing is, let's all take a nice deep breath in and stretch up. And then fly. Breathe in. And sometimes we have our students, because they are incarcerated, to imagine themselves being far beyond the building. And as we sing and as we breathe the rose breath and go, oh, 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 a little faster, oh, faster each time, oh, feel good, feel good.
Feel good, feel good.
Feel great, feel great.
Feel great, feel great.
Now we're getting ready to go really, really fast. Almost like to bring up the chakras in the body and to breathe. And they don't get a chance to holler in prison. They don't get a chance to yell in prison unless somebody collars them and throws them in the hole. So feel good, feel good, feel great, feel great, feel good, feel good, feel good, feel good, feel great, feel great, feel great,
feel great.
1, 2.
You always make us feel great. I want
1, 2.
We're going to do a little bit of questions and answers. We don't want to go too long. here for this part.
Okay. Well, we're just going to do this one little thing and then we're
Yeah,
out.
good.
So
Go for
1, 2, 3. Feel good, feel good.
Feel good, feel good.
Feel great, feel great.
Feel great, feel great.
All right. You have an amazing day. There you go.
You are amazing, always. And I just want to bring Kelsey right back in and just to say, Kelsey, give us a little blues. Give us a little question and answer. Just, ask us anything you want or invite all the students to see if there's anything that came up that really they want to share or ask us.
Before I ask everybody if they want a question, if they want to ask a question, I'm just going to announce that the next event in the series features a Delphi alumnus, Julian McBride, the Reflections on War Initiative, which is scheduled for Tuesday, March 2nd at 6:45. And you can find more information about getting involved and being a presenter or an ambassador on the Artivism website, or you can contact Stephanie Lake or Carolina Cambronero, and I'm going to put their emails in the chat as well. And yeah, so if there's any questions that anybody would like to ask Miss Bloomgarden or any of the musicians today, you can use the hand raising function on Zoom, or you can ask in the chat.
Oh, okay, I see Paul. Paul had his hand up first.
Good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to just say, first off, thank you to all the performers. You guys have made my day. I don't get to see my dad very often because of COVID, but he is a big fan of blues and jazz, and you guys have brought his spirit here with me today, so I really want to thank you. But we alluded to before the importance of music, and especially early on, and especially in the inner cities, we're seeing more and more programs being cut from these schools. Are you guys doing anything like that to try and sort of save these programs, sort of, early intervention for students?
We certainly believe in it, and we wish the music was back in the schools. We think it's a crime that music has been eliminated. Richard and I were talking about it yesterday, how music develops a whole side of your brain, and the arts do, and to eliminate that part as if it's expendable is just stupid. We really need these things. Antoinette wants to say something.
I want to say that, so I've been for the last 17 years going into the schools and throughout the US to try to get into the music programs. And right now I work with the Midorian Friends Foundation, which is in about 70 schools in New York City now, because and it would be really great to connect MOTI to that organization, I think, to try to find some other ways in.
And I'd like to add that the spirit of this meeting now, Artivism, is that we bring our art and what we have to offer where we can offer it. And so we may not change the whole system and the way it's going, where they're removing anything that's not STEM, and we can bring it to our local places, and not just music, but art, everything.
And
we have been asked to go into some of the high-risk communities, and we're working on a program, or another program called Bars Beyond Bars, which is a music recording program for gang-engaged youth. And so that's when COVID abates, we're going to be going into some of those communities. But all of these artists are really compensating for the fact that schools don't have programming. And it's very important for us as artists and all of you to think about ways that you can contribute. Yes, Antoinette.
We just also formed a partnership with something called Jazz House Kids, which is an educational program. But I also teach for several different organizations and have a not-for-profit called Jazz Woman to the Rescue Foundation. And I feel any place that we are as individuals, regardless of these different company names and organizations that we're part of, we have a spiritual intention that, just this one pebble in the lake will reverberate, and that, prayerfully, the country will understand. They took music out of the schools in Newark when I was in the 6th grade. So that's how long. And now more and more people understand the spiritual benefit of teaching children and giving children the benefit of art and music. So it's a consciousness that we can all have. We can all be a demand and write all of our political leaders to say, put it in school here, or you'll have to put it in school once they're incarcerated. We'll still do that, but we want to make sure that we want to put a consciousness in the air. And this program called Music on the Inside means on the insides of the schools as well.
I just want to add that we welcome any of the people that are with us today. We have internships. If you're moved by what we did today, please get in touch with us, info@musicondtheinside.org. We welcome your participation with us, and we're so grateful for the opportunity to share with you today. I feel for me, if I ever sang a blues, I'd say how great it is to be back at Adelphi since I went here many years ago, and what a beautiful way to come back. So
the coincidence that you were paired with the dance majors, and that was completely coincident. We found out that Alina was a dance major at Adelphi.
I know,
which is amazing coincidence. If you guys are interested, remember you can get a 3-credit class for an internship in the criminal justice and sociology programs. Come to me and we can talk about it. I think I saw Melissa and Jenna had their hands up, and my students have to stay on anyway, so don't go anywhere, even after the event. But Melissa, let me give you the mic.
Sorry, there's a dog next to me. Anyways, I was gonna ask, because I'm also in a juvenile delinquency class, so we talk about like the factors of like children also going into like rehabilitation centers. Do you think that your program would extend to like kids and helping them be in those rehab centers as well to maybe eventually turn their lives around with music?
There's no limit to the possibility. It's just a matter of building the support so that we can. There's so many musicians that want to help. We have no lack of musicians, amazing musicians like you've met today. And we really want to do more. And it's just a matter of building the institution to be able to support more. And yes, I'll be very open to that. Please be in touch with us. Thank you.
Jenna, you had your hand up?
Yeah, so I had a question for Mr. Don Braden. I was wondering if you were improvising that whole time?
I 95% improvisation. I played the song There Is No Greater Love, which is an old standard. And I had planned on doing something else, and then I changed my mind at the very last second. So yeah, I made up everything except the melody of the song, which I was as Richard and Antoinette can tell, I was quite loose. I was pretty loose with it, but I hung around that. So yeah, mostly improvisation.
But he has if you go online and Google each of these artists, Mr. Don Braden, Richard Miller, Miss Barbara Cecil, and at some point for sure, Daoud, who will hopefully be recording and putting some things up on YouTube, etc., and myself. He's got a great Earth, Wind, and Wonder CD, Mr. Don Braden does, and you'll enjoy it. I have some civil rights music that I made especially for your generation so that we would not forget that music. This is the quarter end of Black History Month, and what is Africa? Africa is everything and everywhere, and we must love. Love is so lacking in the land. So as you go about the universe and become the leaders of the universe, love is the answer.
Love is the answer. Antoinette, I want to add one more thing. We have concerts every single Sunday. They're free, music while we're inside. Antoinette hosts it, and Richard is always with us also as one of our co-hosts and associate producers. And we feature amazing musicians. We've had so much support from the whole musician community for this program. And we welcome you to come. Just write to us and we'll make sure you get invitations every week.
I put something in the chat for our website, musicondtheinside.org, and you can find out about it. You can have folks contribute, and somebody has a question for Daoud that's in the, I think,
RG.
Oh, yes. He played two, yes. He played two very different instruments for me, right? I don't play music. The one is the flute and the other was the saxophone. Two genres of music as well. How do you shift gears? Right? Or don't you? Does it feel to Dawood as it's just one and the same? Or is it the mood you're in? Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, as far as the instruments, there's a lot of similarity between the sax and flute as far as fingering. but there's some like fine points in reference to you know the sound producing and things of that nature that you know I'm getting you know great instructions from Barbara pertaining to the flute and all the different particulars for the sax that I'm getting from Don. Yeah, and there is some differences, but there are also some similarities. But like as far as shifting from one style to another, you know, of music, you know, it's not a problem because as I stated before, I have, or as was stated before, I'm somewhat eclectic as far as taste. So, you know, I can get into just about any style of music, you know. It's not a problem as far as shifting gears, you know, when it comes to style.
Actually, when Barbara and I spoke about it yesterday, it's like to not think that just because Dawood is black that he's only going to be into jazz, that he loves classical and all the styles, and that's the way we should think about music. It's so much broader.
Well, Duke Ellington said there's two kind of musics, good and bad.
Right.
And so
I'll also add that for myself, I actually have, like we all have in our different kind of attitudes or our different personalities or aspects of our personalities that focus when we switch into different things. Like when you're driving, you know, you're kind of in one mode, and when you're running, you're in a different mode. And when I'm in saxophone, I'm in one mode, and when I'm on flute, I'm in a different mode. So if I'm in flute mode, then my whole thing shifts for me.
Yeah.
And while like Dawood said, there's some commonality quite a bit, there's a lot of huge differences that he also acknowledged. And so for myself, I actually do shift very much significantly in terms of my modes when I'm in flute mode and sax mode. So it's really fun to explore both of those different sides of myself almost individually in addition to their overlaps.
Well, we all have different arsenals, things in our artistic arsenal that we paint with. And the beauty of being able to go home and talk to your friends when you get on school break versus having to go into a job interview and having to present yourself that way, or maybe going into church with a certain reverence, or being angry. All of those emotions get expressed, and how they hold the instrument, their embouchure, and all those other details are just a possibility. I had to sing Ave Maria at a service this weekend. I never sang this song, but I had to really woodshed for 2 weeks, and the people appreciate you bringing, you know, what it is that you are as a jazz artist to this song. But I made sure I sang it straight so I wouldn't get in trouble. I mean, what do you think, Richard?
I'm just going to have to take saxophone lessons, right?
I think
That's what time it is.
I think allowing yourselves to shift gears.
Not a bad idea.
Okay.
I think allowing yourselves to shift gears. I know from my art, I mean, yeah, I can paint and I can, you know, draw with rapidographs and many different styles. I find it makes me then more creative when I do the other.
Totally.
Whereas if you do just one, you remain static. So you need that shifting.
I mean, you not necessarily. I mean, you can also kind of stay focused, and it's cooler to do just one. But I do think that the cross-pollination is a good thing. That's for sure. I agree with you.
And Antoinette, you brought up something that the students may be inspired to write some blues about, since the university canceled student break. So you guys have material to work with. There's because of COVID, they canceled spring break and they're spacing it out. And students understandably are not delighted by this. Faculty are not delighted, but you know, we want safety is the most important thing. So,
well, my students at a couple of the schools, I would give them something that I created called Flash, and that means we turn everything off. You know, they go for 3 minutes and create. It could be a poem, it could be clay, it could be a picture, it could be a song, and after 3 minutes, it is incredible what the students all come out, and then we all share it on the screen. And it's a transformative energy shift, in that stay out of just your one silo of your brain and negativity, but get back and focus into something creative, and it brightens your whole spirit, your whole day. So give 5 minutes of creativity a shot.
I love that. I love that.
That's right. Do you give them a prompt? Do you give them a prompt?
Yes,
Because
it's called It's time for Flash for 5 minutes, and I shut
But
I
you
shut
give
up
them a
and
prompt.
I draw. As a matter of fact, if we all did flash for 1 minute right now and see what we come up with, you will amaze yourself at your own level of quick brilliance. Nina Simone saw a picture of a dear friend of hers in the Times and said, in a spark, genius came to me, and I wrote, "To be young, gifted, and black." And so I just figured, well, we all have that in us. We just don't believe. And so when somebody says stop and create in 3 to 5 minutes, it is amazing. It is mind blowing how people come back and deliver. And sometimes they do birds. Sometimes one young man drew he sculpted with clay a bird cage with a little bird inside of it in 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes.
To the point where and one young lady did a song.
You know, I love the idea that we could send you a very simple structure for a 12-bar blues and ask your students to write something. If you send it to us, we'd be so honored to have those.
Without a doubt.
Some prompts. That would be
Without a
fabulous.
doubt.
We're kind of pressed on time. Maybe
Yes.
we could do this again in the summer if you're up to it, where we can open it up as a workshop. Where we
Wow.
can do it in like a 2-hour session. Carolina, what do you think? And Stephanie? Because this is something that can go on for 2-3 hours and get more involved, right? Where we can do that prompt where we shut off and explore more music. But I don't think we have much time for anything else. I'm so sorry. Thank you all. It was so nice. We hope to do it again. We hope to do it again.
Thank you, everyone, for participating and for joining in. And to our presenters, a big round of applause for all their hard work and generosity with giving us their time. As I mentioned, my students, I would like you to stay on just for a few minutes after everyone zooms out. But I wanted to thank you again. This was wonderful, and hopefully we can do it all again in the summer.
Thank you so much. Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. It's really fun.
It was fun.